everyone, it's Nicole from Nicole Loves Nails. Welcome to my channel.
So keep me in your sight, 'cause I can do this all night.
So this video is for the Retro Essentials collection. Not a new collection, but it's still available, so we're posting it. Collection by Clionadh Cosmetics. So the Retro Essentials collection is essentially inspired by all things 1990s. The brand is cruelty-free, vegan-friendly, and the polishes are listed as being 10-free. And each bottle is 11.5 mLs each. And I just want to say, like, these bottles are super, super cute. Let me just show you one real quick. Here is what the bottles look like. So I have 12 polishes that roll, technically 11 cream polishes and then one holographic topper. So 12 polishes in total. I'm pretty excited about these polishes only because I have had them for quite a while. I originally opened these up on my live stream, then I did like a whole huge comparison of them on some Holo Taco cream. I'll have that live stream linked in the description box if anyone wants to check that out. I was a fan of this brand's makeup before they started releasing nail polish, so I was really, really excited that they started releasing nail polish as well. The brand did send me these polishes in PR, but as always, all thoughts and opinions are my own. So if you are new to the brand, Clionadh Cosmetics is a indie brand based out of Canada. They are very popular in the indie makeup scene, and they only just started releasing nail polish this past summer. So as far as I know, this collection is not limited edition, but I also don't know how long it's going to be around. So before we get into today's video, I do want to mention, if you are new around here, hi, I am Nicole. It is wonderful to meet you, and thank you very much for clicking on this video. Do consider hitting that subscribe button if you enjoy nail polish related content. I upload new videos every single week featuring a mixture of indie, mainstream, as well as boutique nail polish brands. If you are in fact a returning subscriber, welcome back. How are you doing? How's everyone doing? I'm trying to get back onto a schedule for posting videos, so hopefully this is going up on Saturday. Hopefully. If it's not, I'm cutting this whole thing out because y'all don't need to know why I was late. As always, down in the description box, I will have links to where you can purchase these polishes, links to the brand's social media pages, my social media pages, as well as a link to my blog post on NicoleLovesNails.com, where I host all of my swatch photos and provide a written review. There's also timestamps down there as well. Let's get into the video. We're gonna go through these in rainbow order, and when we start in rainbow order around here, we always start with the pink. This one is called Butterfly Clip, and the brand describes it as a magenta creme polish. This one had a really fantastic formula. I was pleasantly surprised at how good coverage was on that first coat. Not quite a one coater, but I could see this one becoming one after you use it a couple of times and it thickens up a little bit. It was slightly on the thicker side, but it self-leveled perfectly. I love this color. We're starting out strong. This was a beautiful, beautiful color. Swatch this one in 2 coats plus glossy top coat, of course. It dries down a little bit flat, so you will want top coat just to give it a nice glossy finish, and I had no problems with staining. And now we have the red, and this one is called Gumball. The brand describes it as a candy machine red creme polish. This one also had a fantastic formula. Coverage, again, was really fantastic. This polish doesn't have that kind of crelly feel a lot of red creams have. I feel like this one is definitely like a creme and not like a crelly kind of creme. Hopefully that makes some sense. And I will say the shade of red really does remind me of those 25-cent candy machines that I used to love as a kid growing up in the 90s. So yeah, I feel like this one matched the inspiration perfectly. I swatched this one in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. It dries down fairly glossy, but you know, I always use top coat for all of my swatches. And I could see people with shorter nails than me being good in 1 coat. And for orange, we have Lava Lamp, and the brand describes this one as a magma orange creme polish. So this one felt a little bit more chalky than the other polishes in the release. I was honestly surprised at how streaky this one was. I feel like colors like this usually don't have such a streaky kind of formula, but you know, it builds up really nicely for me. I do think this one is going to be a 2 or 3 coater depending on application and your nail length. Shorter nails than me, probably going to be good in 2 coats. If you have longer nails or nails close to my length, you might want to go in for a 3rd just to get any light spots taken care of. I do think if you float the brush with super careful application, this will definitely be a 2 coater, but if you want to go ham on the nail like I clearly do when I do application, it's going to be a 3 coater. The polish on the nail also seems just a little bit darker on the nail than it appears in the bottle. If you are like me and have very warm to golden undertones, this will make your hands look a little bit red or a little bit yellow depending on your lighting. Next up, we have Lemonade Stand. The brand describes this one as a sunshine yellow creme polish. So this one had an okay formula. It was not bad, but it was very streaky, very chalky, and it self-leveled a little bit slower than all the other polishes in this release. I will be very lenient because yellow creams are always like the worst formulas for whatever reason, like with the exception being white. I love this shade of yellow. This is like the kind of yellow that you look at it and just makes you happy inside. I hope I'm not the only one that just sees certain colors and just makes them feel happiness on the inside, but this is one of those colors I just look at and I feel happy to see it. I also feel like this is one of those polishes that were like, if I was applying this one with like a paddle brush and I was doing less brush strokes, that I also think that my application would have been vastly different just by a different brush. This polish also dries down a little bit more flat than the other polishes, so you will want a glossy top coat for a glossy finish. This next polish is called Solitaire. The brand describes it as a card table green creme polish like the 1998 computer game. Solitaire had a really great formula. The base color is exactly as described. I would say that this is also kind of like a cartoony kind of grass green. Coverage was fantastic. It was just shy of being a one coater. I think with more careful application and shorter nails, this would likely be a solid one coater. I am not generally a green polish loving kind of gal, but I will admit that this is a very nice green. It gives me a lot of like springtime vibes as well. So I swatched this one in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. It does dry down a little bit glossy on its own though. And now we have Game Console. The brand describes this one as an epic teal creme polish. This one had a fantastic formula. The dry time does seem to be a little bit faster on this one than the other polishes, but I did not have any problems with application. Self-level, perfect. 10 out of 10, fantastic. I'll say if you overwork it, you might run into some issues and it might not be like a solid 2 coater on you, so definitely like apply it, don't mess with it too much. This is one of those teals that photographs a completely different color than it appears in person. My live swatch and my swatch photos are going to be the most color accurate representation. The full hand swatch, which you're seeing here for the video, that is not accurate. The photos here, these are more color accurate to what I was actually seeing in person. Now we have Bell Bottom. The brand describes this one as a jean blue creme polish. This one also had a fantastic, great formula. I love this shade of blue. It is so freaking beautiful. I will say if you go in for very thin coats with this polish, it does apply very streaky. I found like medium to slightly on the thicker side. I found application was fantastic. It was a solid 2 coater on me, but if you go in for very thin coats, you might end up having to do 3 coats for this one. And I would say that the base color is as described. It is a medium toned blue with like this the teeniest hint of gray. I swatched this one in 2 coats plus glossy top coat. The next polish is called Pinball. The brand describes this one as an indigo creme polish that's inspired by the 90s Space Cadet computer game. This one had a fantastic formula. I do think if you have shorter nails and careful application, this is going to be a 1 coater on you. I'm going to be swatching this one in just 2 coats. This is the type of indigo that if you put it next to a purple, it's going to look blue, and if you put it next to a blue, it's going to look purple. It's definitely like in the middle. I wouldn't necessarily call it a blurple, but that just might be me splitting hairs. Either way, I freaking love this color. Like it is gorgeous. I forgot to mention this earlier, but all of the polishes in this release are very pigmented and you will really want to wear a base coat with all of these. And next up we have Scrunchie, which the brand describes as being a silky violet creme polish to match your velvet hair tie. So this one had a good formula. It was a little bit more sheer, a little bit more even than some of the other colors in this release, but it did build up perfectly for me in just 2 coats. I would say that this is more of a warm toned medium purple, leaning towards like the berry side of the family. As someone who tends to prefer cool tone purples over warm tone purples, I didn't really like this one color wise. Like it wasn't bad, it's just not my kind of purple. One thing that I will note as far as opacity, for me in person 2 coats, it was perfectly opaque. I did find that my camera was able to pick up some light spots in my swatch photos on the tips of my nails, but I do still think this one is going to be a solid 2 coater. This next polish is called VHS and the brand describes it as a jet black creme polish. VHS had a really great formula. This one is going to be a 1 to 2 coater depending on how thick of a coat you go in for. I found when I was doing my full hand swatches on 1 coat, it was still pretty sheer, which was kind of disappointing for me. When I was doing my live swatch, I must have gone in for significantly thicker coats because it was opaque in just 1 coat. I don't have much to say other than I wish this was like a solid 1 coater and not like a sometimes 1 coater. But like I don't think polishes have to be 1 coaters to be good, but I kind of expect my black to be a 1 coater. And for the white we have Liquid Paper. The brand describes this one as a stark white creme polish. So as I mentioned earlier, whites tend to be very streaky, and this one is not an exception. It's going to be a 2 to 3 coater depending on application. For me personally, I also feel like this one would have benefited from a paddle brush, so I would be less inclined to do multiple brush strokes. This wasn't terrible. It did self-level really nicely, but like I still had lots of uneven spots in 2 coats, so I ended up going in for a third. I kind of messed up recording the third coat, but I did do a third coat, and I found in 3 coats that everything was like perfectly white out white. Just like the black, don't have much to say, but I do feel like 3 coats for a white is not completely abnormal. But I also know I'm not going to really reach for this one because I have a 2 coat white that works well for me already. And the final polish we have is a holographic glitter topper. The brand describes this one as a silver holographic micro glitter topper. So this one had a really great formula. This is in a clear base, so it's going to be perfect to use over a variety of colors. As the glitters in here are super tiny, I wouldn't really recommend this one for sponging it on. I just feel like you'd have to use a lot of coats to try to make this one opaque by sponging it on. It's a very sparkly, scattered holographic type of holographic topper. You do not get the issue where your base color gets grayed out from it. It has like the perfect density of glitter versus base where you don't lose what you put it over, but you also still get a lot of blam blow holographic. It was raining when I swatched this one, so I just tweaked my lighting in this last shot to show you all how holographic this one really is. It does not dry down textured. 1 coat of top coat will do you nicely, and removal won't be too bad. Okay, so final thoughts. I'm gonna try to give my thoughts to this collection as what I remember what I thought when I first saw them. So one thing that I was particularly confused about, I was very surprised that a brand that's so well known for doing like crazy color shifty, all the multi-chrome, all the things, that their first release was like creme finishes. I do believe initially the brand had meant for these to be like your very basic colors, like just like start out with like that. So I get that because I feel like their releases since this collection have been really just like what you would expect from a brand that's known for being like color shifty goodness. Overall, I thought the collection was really fantastic. I am not generally one for creme finishes in general, but I can get down with the creme polish as long as like the base color is really nice. I do think for the brand's very first collection, I do think all the polishes were pretty good. The only polishes that I didn't really love or I was a little disappointed by, VHS was particularly disappointing only because I kind of gotten into the habit of like if a black polish isn't a 1 coater, I'm kind of like over it. I fully recognize that a polish does not need to be a 1 coater to be good. Like I understand that concept, but I just feel like if something is going to be a 1 coater, black should probably be it. So I was just a little disappointed that I needed 2 coats for that one. I didn't love that Lava Lamp was a 3 coater on me, but you know, clear nail, so like I'm not hating on it that much. But overall, I thought all these colors were really fun and fantastic, and they were really gorgeous. And I think they're also really good staples if you don't already have similar colors already in like your polish collection. I do remember when I was doing my live stream we were showing these, I thought so many of these were almost dupes for a lot of the Holo Taco creme polishes. They are not straight dupes, in case anyone's curious. I'll have a link to my live stream where I was doing like a huge comparison on all of my Holo Tacos versus these Clionadh Cosmetics, because like I know people are going to ask. We did this already. I'll link it in the description box. As far as top picks go, I'd go with Bell Blum just because I love blues. I love blues. I would also go with Butterfly Clip because it's pink, and then Pinball rounding the collection out. So like my only critique of the brand that I have personally, I do wish that the brush was a little bit more of a paddle, but I do think the brush is wide enough that I'm not mad at it at all. As far as pricing goes for these polishes, they are priced at $10.64 for US dollars. This is a Canadian brand, so that price might go up or down depending on how much the rate is on all that. And again, these are 11.5 ml bottles. $1 for ml. I wouldn't say that this is a more expensive brand. I would say that their pricing is fairly similar to other indie brands. And I do have several more things coming up from this brand as well, so I really hope you all like this one. So again, these polishes are available right now on the Clionadh Cosmetics website, which again, linked down below. I'd love to know what everyone else thought of these polishes. Like, have you tried the brand out? Let me know, because I'm always curious what you all think. Before we end today's video, I do want to give a very special shout out to my channel members. Thank you all besties so very much for all your love and support. Your names are on the screen right now. If you would like to join channel memberships, I have a link for that in the description box. So that is it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend, and I'll see you all in the next video.